It all began on a rainy afternoon, when thunder growled across the sky and raindrops tapped against the window panes. 11-year-old Ellie sat curled up in her grandmother's attic, flipping through a dusty old book of fairy tales. The attic smelled of wood and forgotten dreams, filled with trunks, portraits, clocks that no longer ticked, and a large mirror draped in a velvet sheet. But today, something felt different. As she turned a yellowed page, a strange, thin silver key slipped out from between the folds of the book and landed in her lap. The key shimmered. It wasn't old or rusty like the rest of the attic. It looked alive, pulsing faintly with light, like a heartbeat. Engraved on it were 3 glowing words: "Find the door." Ellie's heart raced. She searched the attic, crawling around dusty boxes and tiptoeing past cobwebs. That's when she noticed something peculiar. The old wooden wardrobe in the corner room she'd never dared open before had a keyhole that glowed the same silver as the key. She slowly turned the key. Click. The wardrobe creaked open, revealing a swirling tunnel of golden mist. It hummed softly, as if calling her name. She didn't even hesitate. With a deep breath and trembling fingers, Ellie stepped through. She landed on soft violet grass under a sky that shimmered with 2 suns. Floating jellyfish danced in the air, and trees had leaves shaped like stars. A talking rabbit wearing spectacles and a vest approached her, holding a map. "You've come for the Whispering Key, haven't you?" he said in a curious British accent. "But I already have a key," Ellie replied. The rabbit chuckled. "Oh, child, that's only the beginning. You've been chosen to find the Whispering Door, the entrance to the lost library of echoes. Inside it lies every story ever forgotten, every spell ever unspoken. But it's been sealed for centuries." Ellie's eyes widened. "Why me?" "Because only a heart full of wonder can hear its call," the rabbit said. "And yours roared louder than thunder." He handed her the map, drawn on moonleaf paper with ink that moved like water. The journey began. First, Ellie had to cross the mirror maze of murmurs, where illusions tried to trap her inside memories. But Ellie was clever. She whispered the names of her friends and family anchors to the real world, and the mirrors cracked, letting her pass. Next, she entered the hollow woods, where the trees whispered fears into your ears. "You'll never make it," one hissed. "You're just a child," another groaned. But Ellie kept walking, whispering, "I may be small, but I'm brave." It wasn't until she reached the floating mountains of Moonstone that her courage was truly tested. There, a storm serpent named Zephyros blocked her path, coiled around the bridge made of clouds. "You must answer my riddle to pass," the serpent hissed. Ellie gulped. "Okay, what grows only when given away yet weighs nothing?" Ellie thought hard. Then she smiled. "Kindness," she said. The serpent grinned, and the clouds parted. Finally, she reached the Whispering Door. It stood in the middle of a quiet field, made of wood that looked like rippling water, surrounded by glowing mushrooms and floating lanterns. As Ellie approached, the silver key in her pocket began to sing not in words, but in gentle humming. She placed the key into the heart of the door. It didn't open. Instead, the door whispered, "To enter, give your truest truth." Ellie frowned. What did that mean? She thought of all her adventures, her fears, and hopes. Then she stepped closer and placed her hand on the door. "I'm afraid of not being enough. I'm scared of growing up and forgetting how to dream. But I want to believe in magic. Always. Silence." Then the door slowly opened. Inside was the Library of Echoes. Books floated in the air like birds. Light beams carried melodies instead of dust. On the central pedestal floated a second key, golden, warm, and whispering. This was the whispering key, forged from memory, truth, and imagination. The rabbit reappeared, bowing. "You've done it. But what now?" Ellie asked. "Now you write your own story," the rabbit replied. "You're its guardian." Back in the attic, thunder had faded. The wardrobe door swung shut behind Ellie. She held the golden key in her hand, smiling softly. But this time, she knew the magic hadn't ended. It had just begun, and in the corner of the attic, the old mirror shimmered. Another door was waiting. Moral of the story: bravery doesn't mean being fearless. It means listening to the whisper of your heart and daring to follow it, even into the unknown. Every child holds the key to magic inside them. They just have to believe.